We're back. I don't hear anything. See what's going on over here. Wavelength. Okay. This is supposed to be this one. Okay. All right, all right. Welcome back. Hope you guys had a good holidays. I'm just trying to straighten up the streams here. I wanted to watch this video, but it's a freaking hour long.
Sorry.
Dang. Maybe I have to put that on hold for a second. Okay. What can we watch to start off the stream? It's over for Blizzard? Yeah, right. XGMX 3 in real life cases. The reality of tech jobs in 2024. Okay, we can watch this real quick.
Step into Wix Studio.
Let's see what this is about. The reality of tech jobs.
Efficiency.
I'm gonna be honest.
Let's just go ahead and full screen it.
Getting a job sucks right now. I'm really lucky that I'm not on the market in any traditional sense. Now that I run my own company, I have the YouTube channel, and I do a lot of advising.
All right, right away. Ain't his problem, because he's got his own business. Right away. Feels bad, man. Wish it was me.
For other companies. The more I see it from the perspective both of people hiring as well as people looking for a new job or even their first job, the market is in a weird and really scary state. I've never seen it quite like this before, especially with the layoffs. And it's not that senior engineers don't have jobs or opportunities, it's that they're now competing for positions they weren't before. And the desperation to find engineers on the company side isn't quite what it used to be either.
I have a theory about this because hey X-Men, how's it going? I have a theory about this. Why do you think the job market is so bad right now? I'm thinking it's because I wonder if I should record this video actually. Okay. We can go ahead and record this video. The reality of tech jobs in 2024.
Job sucks right now. I'm really lucky that I'm not on the market in any traditional sense. Now that I run my own company, I have the YouTube channel, and I do a lot of advising for other companies. The more I see it from the perspective both of people hiring as well as people looking for a new job or even their first job, the market is in a weird and really scary state. I've never seen it.
So yeah, about the market. The job market is kind of interesting right now because there was a tech boom during COVID that lasted for 2 years, but everybody and their mom got baited into tech, and so now there's tons of people that just got out of boot camps because they got baited into boot camps, and they're trying really hard to get a tech job. And a lot of people majored in computer science. Computer science was like one of like the only majors in San Francisco State that grew instead of shrunk during lockdowns. So what happened was all these people got baited into computer science, and then they all got rug pulled because the market came crashing down in a blaze of glory. Crashing down in a blaze of glory. So now everyone is competing with all these people that thought there was going to be a lot more jobs, but they're not. But yeah, crashing down to the simul. Bow down. But I think this issue is going to go away because ultimately there's now all the people that joined because of COVID and stuff are not in computer science because they want to be in computer science. They're in computer science because they think it has a lot of money in computer science and stuff, and there's a lot of jobs, and those people don't really stick around long. So although the market might be flooded right now, I have a strong feeling that the people that are in it for extrinsic rewards, aka money, rather than intrinsically enjoying CS, those people are not going to survive very long. They're going to switch to other things. They're going to try out new things. So eventually the number of computer science people are going to go down, and then the market will go back to normal. But that'll take some time. That'll take a few times. At least one time for that to happen. So you kind of just have to write it out. I think, putting a bunch of pressure on yourself is not the right strategy. But you know what? Because there is so many people without jobs in tech, there's going to be a lot of people exploiting that at the same time too. So you got to be careful with that. There's going to be all kinds of unpaid internships. All kinds of unpaid internships. Maybe you're the one giving unpaid internships. Maybe I should start hiring unpaid interns for my shitty website. No, wait. That's okay. Oh, okay. Anyways. Yeah, I mean, I think that's what sounds right to me. So how you doing, X-Men? Long time no see. I was on the holidays. Hope you had good holidays, a good holiday break. I was with my family, so I wasn't really streaming very much. Trying to get back into it. Parse an object, parse all the textures from PNGs, and then render the 3D model with textures on in my UI. Ooh, what the heck is a dot object? And then render the 3D model with textures on? Dang. Okay, now you're making a game engine. Dude, you should just make a game engine. So I don't have to use Unity anymore. We need you, bro. We need you in there. There's just not enough game engine people doing stuff. Bro, you're just one step away.
Quite like this before, especially with the layoffs. And it's not that senior engineers don't have jobs or opportunities, it's that they're now competing for positions they weren't before. And the desperation to find engineers on the company side isn't quite what it used to be either. What happened? We could go in depth.
Oh yeah, hold up. I gotta do something real quick. I gotta reorganize some stuff. just gotta put my laptop away over here. I gotta put my other laptop away. I don't have space. I need space for my work laptop. I just realized my work laptop is replacing this computer for now. All right. Here we go. That's a lot better. Oh, we got Docker coming in hot. Can we play it? Did I do that wrong? Oh yeah, I think that's good. I once heard that people who started as game modders end up game devs. Well, some of them. Huh, yeah, I think that makes, I think like, those modders have some crazy skills. Some of those modders, like the Skyrim's one, jeez, man. They're doing more work than the actual programmers. What is it? Doesn't make any sense. But, yeah, I don't know. Like, I liked games when I was a kid and stuff. And I focus on just general software engineering. But, it just turns out, like, I wasn't, like, actually actively looking for a game developing job. But, I mean, like, it turns out that all my hours wasted playing video games, like, ended up making me a pretty solid video game developer. And I ended up doing really well in video game development. So it's like, well, shit. So like, I ended up just sticking with video game development for now. So far, so good. I want to render my 2D and 3D together in a nice way. That sounds difficult. Unity has a canvas for 2D stuff. The depth buffer. The weird thing about 2D is like, okay, well, I guess it's fine if the camera doesn't move. But as soon as you rotate the camera, then the 2D objects look really funky. Well, they're just like flat panels. But I don't think your program has like camera movement, so you should be good. Should be fine. All right, where were you?
Depth on the economic state of things, the interest rates changing, and the reasons why companies are being tighter with their budgets. But there's plenty of other YouTubers doing that better than I would. Companies are tightening their spend, both short-term and long-term. And if you've never run a team or a company before, you might not know this, but the vast majority of spend for the vast majority of companies with engineers is the engineers, because their salaries are big, their benefits are bigger, offices are expensive, filling them with people is expensive, and no service you're paying for costs as much as most of the teams at your company. And when you're talking upwards of like $200,000 to $400,000 per person, having fewer of them is really beneficial. But what if you're a new engineer? Your salary is going to be a lot smaller, right? Even in the US markets, it's like 80 to 110K. Yeah, after benefits and everything, we're closer to like 120 to 130. And junior engineers take so long to onboard that you're not getting much value out of that money initially. In fact, new engineers often have to be onboarded, which means time's being spent by other engineers that could be spent on the product instead being spent helping someone else get faster. If I had a team with 4 people on it and I hired a junior eng, productivity is going to go down by 10 to 20% when they join, period. And after some amount of time, we might go up and be a little bit closer to like one.
Dang, that's true though. Hiring junior devs is rough because they have to be onboarded. But I think I don't know if that's necessarily an issue with junior devs or just hiring a new person in general. It might take someone longer, like a junior, longer to be onboarded. But no matter what, you have to be onboarded. You can't just like fly into something. Like whether you're a junior or a senior engineer might just catch on a little quicker. But usually companies have their own specific way of doing things. So even if you're a senior engineer, I don't know if that's even that significantly faster, much significantly faster.
120% of the previous productivity, so a little bump in the positive direction, but it takes a while to get there. It's also a gamble because not all junior engineers will ever figure it out. It's not because they're bad, it's because the environment might not be the right place for them to learn, the tech stack might not jive with them or their interests, they might just be in a weird place in life that makes it harder for them to produce, and as such, it's harder to make these gambles. It's a really challenging bet to make, to say, hey, we're going to pull this person in and our team's going to move slower for a bit, but if it
That is true when you're taking a little risk with the junior engineer, because since it's their first job, you don't really know if that's what they're capable of doing yet, because it's their first time doing it. So with a senior engineer, you can say, yeah, I've done this before. I'm gonna keep doing it. I can do it again. Yeah.
it works out, we might move slightly faster for only $140,000 a year. That's really scary. And as a result, fewer companies are making those bets and instead choosing to spend their money on guaranteed wins. What's a guaranteed win in this market and in this industry? I'd make the argument that the closest thing we have to a guaranteed win is a team where things are going well, where the people on the team know others from other companies that they've worked with in the past and know the capabilities of, that they can pull in to do specific, understood, earmarked work. If we are working on a front end product and we need the back end to be changed, but we don't have a person to contribute to that back end on our team, and it exists at another team at the company, but I know somebody who has worked with the people who built that back end, who already knows the language, who knows the framework, who knows all the things they're doing, and I've worked with them in the past and I trust them as a coworker, I could vouch for them on my team as a person to bring in. And at that point, their previous role and title barely matters, their degree doesn't matter, their GitHub doesn't matter. What matters is I brought trust to the table. And that's the thing the vast majority of new developers are missing when they're hunting for jobs. They don't have trust yet. It's really, really hard to build trust as a new developer in the industry.
Well, yeah, that's a fundamental difference between a junior dev and a senior dev. It's really that whether they have basically the experience to say that I've done this before, basically. I am reliable enough that I can do this for at least 2 years or something like that.
Industry. There's a lot of things.
That's like the fundamental difference between someone without experience and someone with experience, I guess. Shoosh. Drop something.
Things that help with trust, like quality experience at other companies, like coworkers that can vouch for you. This is why referrals and recommendations on things like LinkedIn are so valuable. But in the end, the only way you're going to get a job right now is if you have some amount of trust to build on top of. How you build that is hard. You can go through contributions on GitHub. You can prove your high scores on LeetCode. But the best thing you can do, by far, is make friendships and connections with other people in the industry. This is the real reason I push going to college. It's not about having a degree, although obviously having that on your resume makes you a little more trustable. It's the connections you make with other people who might make those other connections at other places. I can't tell you how many times I'm the linking factor between some person getting their first job and some company that doesn't want to hire another engineer that takes 2 years to train. And I'll be honest, a lot of the junior engineers in this community don't need much time to be trained. Y'all kill it. There are some really talented younger folk in this community, and I can confidently recommend you to companies that wouldn't normally hire somebody under 25. And yes, that job listing up on LinkedIn or whatever might say 25 plus, it might say senior on it, it might even say principal on it. They're saying that because those titles are an exchange they have made. They're willing to spend more money to have less risk. But that doesn't always mean anything. What they're looking for is less risk and more trust. And finding ways to provide that, primarily through connections with others, is the best win you can have. So surround yourself with other engineers that are at where you're at. Some will go faster, some will go slower.
That's a good
Some
point.
of them will find really cool opportunities. And the more you stay in touch with them, the more likely you are to find those opportunities yourself. I can't recommend just cold applying to a bunch of jobs. It might be good practice, but it's going to give you the wrong signals because you're going to fail a lot of interviews. That's the nature of the field. But this isn't about interviews. This isn't about your resume. This is about how you've proven yourself in an industry that isn't looking to make bets anymore. And when the market changes the way it has, the willingness of these companies to take risk and make bets has gone down a ton. And it's important to recognize how risky of a bet you are as an engineer. If you have 5 years working at Netflix or Amazon, you're a much less risky bet.
Yeah,
than
this is a good-
somebody who
this is
just
a good
graduated
video.
from school and has 2 projects on their GitHub. But if one of those projects is used by somebody on the team you're interviewing with, that risk goes away immediately. So think deeply about how you've proven yourself and the relationships you have, and what it would take to make more of those. If you don't have
I really like that point he made of risk, of companies are really just trying to reduce the risk when they hire someone. I think that's a really cool point. Yeah, because that is basically that's the risk of hiring a junior engineer, is that it's risky. And like finding ways to reduce that risk, whether that be through connections, getting a degree, doing some projects to prove that you can do it, is a good idea. Oh, I think my stream's dying for a second. All my frames are dropping. Dead stream, dead stream. Hold up. Let's see. Try refresh.
in-person
There
group
we
to
go.
hang out with that also codes and is also learning with you. Find some online. There's lots of really cool communities, people on things like Twitter Spaces, people in our very own Discord, which you can join with the link in the description. There are so many opportunities to network and meet the other people who you can build this trust with. But it's so important to understand that that is the core of hiring right now. And that's the thing you probably don't have if you're struggling to find a job. So go network, make friends, don't go at this alone. The myth of the solo programmer who goes to a really nice school, cold applies to 10 companies and gets offers from 2 of them just isn't as much a thing anymore. And God, don't get me started on internships right now. What do you think? How's your experience been trying to hunt for a job? If you want to hear more about growing as an engineer, I'll pin a video in the corner here all about that. And if you're not interested, you've already seen it, YouTube thinks you'll like the video below it. Thank you guys as always. Appreciate y'all a ton. Peace, nerds.
Hi, Frank George here. This is the EMS foot massager.
Where the heck is the
EMS
keyboard?
is electrical
What the
muscle
hell is this?
stimulation.
Foot massage? Okay, hold up. Where's the keyboard one? Oh, it's right here. I gotta turn it off and then turn it back on. Because this thing sucks. It doesn't even work unless I restart it. There we go. Power Toys is a cool concept, but it's kind of scuffed. But if it works, which it doesn't, speaking in regards to my Power Toys thing, I'm just gonna use Shark keys to remap my keyboard. Man. Yeah, I can't believe you managed to get 3D on the screen. That's pretty cool. You should send another screenshot in the Discord so I can see it. I want to see how that looks. Because that sounds pretty wild. That sounds wild and really hard. Design patterns.
When you first become a junior developer, your code will look like Play-Doh snakes, but as you progress to senior developer and learn about software design patterns, your code will look like the Sistine Chapel. But when you then progress to principal engineer, you'll realize that nobody wants to maintain the Sistine Chapel for a silly website and go back to making Play-Doh snakes. In today's video, you'll learn about 10 different software design patterns, along with the pros and cons of using them, which can be very subjective and controversial. One of the most influential books in the history of programming is Design Patterns.
Cosmo
by
looks a bit
four
weird.
C++
Oh, Okay.
engineers called the Gang of Four.
Still
It
cool.
breaks down 23 different approaches to address recurring problems that programmers face, which are categorized as creational patterns, how objects are created, structural patterns, how objects relate to each other, and behavioral patterns, how objects communicate with each other. Becoming a proficient software engineer is not about memorizing the syntax of a programming language, but rather the ability to solve problems with it. By the end of this video, you'll understand a variety of different patterns for solving problems as they relate to modern app developers. Before we get started, I want to give a big shout out to refactoring.guru. They gave me permission to use some of their graphics that explain design patterns better than anything else out there. They're based in Ukraine, and it's seriously one of the coolest programming websites on the internet. Design patterns are really interesting because they're not just like algorithms that you can copy and paste from Stack Overflow. You actually need to use your brain to implement them. It can be tempting to implement them all over the place, but when used improperly, they can add additional complexity and boilerplate to a code base. The book is not the Bible, and there are many criticisms of it. Regardless, knowing how to recognize design patterns will help you level up as a programmer. The first pattern we'll look at is singleton, which is very easy to understand. It's a type of object that can only be instantiated once. In TypeScript, we might implement a singleton class called settings to represent the global app settings data. We'll give it a static instance property and then make its constructor private so that it cannot be instantiated with a new
Sounds
keyword.
like plan.
We then create a static getInstance method that will check to see if the instance has already been created, and if not, it will create a new one, and that ensures that only one object can be created. That's great and all, but here's where things become a little more nuanced. In JavaScript, we have object literals and also the concept of global data, and objects are passed around by reference. We get all the same basic characteristics as this pattern by simply creating a global object. The pattern itself is really just extra boilerplate that we don't need. It's an entirely different story in C++, but the moral is to lean on your language's built-in features before implementing a fancy design pattern. Now let's take a look at the prototype pattern, which is just a fancy word for clone. If you've done object-oriented programming, you should be familiar with inheritance, where a class can be extended with a subclass. One problem with inheritance is that it can lead to a complex hierarchy of code. The prototype pattern is an alternative way to implement inheritance, but instead of inheriting functionality from a class, it comes from an object that's already been created. This creates a flat prototype chain that makes it much easier to share functionality between objects, especially in a dynamic language like JavaScript, which supports prototypal inheritance out of the box. Imagine we have an object named zombie. This is our prototype, but now we want to create a new object based on it that also has a name. We can do that with object create by passing the zombie as the prototype, then specify additional properties like name for the new object. The interesting thing is that if you log this object, you'll only see the name and not the eatbrains method. However, if you try to call that method, it will still work. That's because JavaScript will go up the prototype chain until it reaches the root, looking for any methods or properties on the parent objects. You can always get the prototype from an object by using this proto property. However, that's not a modern best practice, and instead you should use object getPrototype of. Now, when it comes to classes in JavaScript, prototype refers to its constructor, and that means that we can extend a class with additional functions if we want to. However, that's also generally considered a bad practice. Now let's switch gears to the builder pattern. Imagine you're running a hot dog stand, and when a customer places an order, they need to tell you everything they want in the sandwich in the constructor. That works, but it's kind of hard to keep track of all these options, and we might want to defer each step to a later point. With the builder pattern, we create the object step by step using methods rather than the constructor, and we could even delegate the building logic to an entirely different class. In JavaScript, we'll have each method return this, which is a reference to the object instance. That allows us to implement method chaining, where we instantiate an object, then chain methods to it, but always get the object as the return value. You'll come across this pattern frequently with libraries like jQuery, but it's gone a bit out of style in recent years. Another pattern you may come across is factory. Instead of using the new keyword to instantiate an
Here's the one I'm trying to get to.
Instead of using the new keyword to instantiate an object, you use a function or method to do it for you. That may sound trivial, but here's a practical example. Let's imagine we're building a cross-platform app that runs on both iOS and Android. They both have the same interface, but in our code, we're doing a bunch of conditional checking to determine which button to show. That's not very maintainable. Instead, we can create a subclass or function that will determine which object to instantiate. Now, instead of repeating the same logic, we use the factory to determine which button should be rendered. Now we're ready to look at the first structural pattern, facade. A facade is the face of a building. Inside that building, there's all kinds of shenanigans, corruption, and complexity that the end user doesn't need to know about. A facade is basically just a simplified API to hide other low-level details in your code base. Let's imagine we have classes for the plumbing system and to hide other low-level details. A facade is based against
I need to look at the
corruption
factory.
and complexity. A facade is on both iOS and Android. They both have the same interface, but in our code, we're doing a bunch of conditional checking to determine which button to show. That's not very maintainable. Instead, we can create a subclass or function that will determine which object to instantiate. Now, instead of repeating the same logic, we use the factory to determine which button should be rendered. Now we're ready to the first structural pattern, facade.
That was quick, but I guess I get the idea. Is you just create a function that instantiates the thing for you. Well, that's simple enough. Okay. Well, that's a lot. Let's just chill out for a second with relaxing electronical electronic music. I gotta adjust this. There we go. I gotta fix. Oh, the name of the song? The title is Nevada by Vice Tone. Something's wrong with my Copilot subscription. I gotta check my email, I guess. I'll be checking my email off the screen for a second. I ain't getting any emails about it. Did they get rid of the student Copilot deal? I might just have to buy Copilot. Now I actually gotta buy Copilot? Huge rip. Copilot student. I had a student deal which I didn't need to pay, but I wonder if they got rid of it. Do you ever feel like people like to make patterns in software development way more complex than they need to be? I think one of the big things is how everyone won't call a spade a spade. And every pattern has its own name for something that's been around in another form for decades. I think one of the big things is how everyone won't call a spade a spade. Interesting point. Interesting point. Do you have an example of that? Can I see what you're saying? Like, we have a bunch of names for a bunch of things that are really more simpler than the name suggests, I think is what you're saying. Like a factory pattern is just a function that instantiates a class. Dang it, I might have to pay for Copilot. GitHub student, let me see. Copilot student. Quick start for GitHub Copilot. I think they got rid of the student thing. I think I lost my student status on my GitHub account. Huge bummer. I did. The pro thing is gone too because I had like the pro mem deal. How do you activate the student thing again? Orchestrator versus Facade. Facade. I don't know what an orchestrator is. Hold up. Let me ask ChatGPT. Yeah, Facade is just like abstraction. Facade does seem kind of dumb to me in general. I think it's just overcomplicating. I mean, like, it's too general. It doesn't really mean anything. Is the problem with Facade. It's really just a concept, I guess. What is the difference between the orchestrator design pattern and Facade design pattern? The orchestrator design pattern. The purpose of the orchestrator design pattern is used to manage and coordinate complex workflows or sequence of actions, often involving multiple components or services. They focus on controlling the flow of execution and ensuring that tasks are performed in the correct order. Okay. The Facade pattern is used to provide a simplified and unified interface to a set of interfaces or subsystems. It hides the complexity. Okay, yeah. Alright. Someone on Stack Overflow asking the different top answer. Facade tells me it's a simplified interface that abstracts more complicated interfaces. Right. Orchestrator tells me it's telling things what to do and expecting those things to do it. Technically both are true, but isn't the first one the point you're trying to make? However, the better name tells me what it does, not how it does it. Isn't the first one both can be true in both? So they're saying like with the orchestrator pattern, you're kind of abstracting away things like a Facade pattern in like similar ways. So you're doing like similar kind of abstractions with the orchestrator. I guess like the orchestrator is a specific type of abstraction. Facade is like really, really general, I guess. Yeah, I guess like if we were to do something like, let me just pull this up and then let's get the hell out of light mode. Facade is ginormous. Facade is everything forever. And then I guess in here is orchestrator. See, that's like my issue with facade, is that it's so general that it's not really helpful. It's really just a concept. And really, they should have just used abstraction. There's no need to have a word facade. Just use abstraction as the word to describe this stuff. That's what I think anyway. But the way I see it is like the orchestrator is a specific type of abstraction where you are directing the flows of whatever you're doing, which also sounds really vague. Like, call a spade a spade. We have entire patterns based on nuance that is so subjective. Nuance that's so subjective. Yeah. I agree with that. A lot of these are just really like concepts, abstract concepts that aren't practical. They're just concepts, I guess. Big orchestra might be a facade, but orchestrate still describes it's fine. It's just a big one. Rant of the day over. It was a good rant. Thanks for the rant. Hope you're having a good day. A nice Sunday. I'm trying to get student status on GitHub Copilot because I lost it somehow. How do I get it back? Let me see. Where's the student sign up page for GitHub? Student sign up. Maybe I'll just Google it. Student sign up GitHub. Here we go. I found it. Okay, let me try this out. Student. We require students using additional proof. No, they need additional proof for my academic status. That's annoying. I could use my other one. Oh, modify GitHub to use my location? Okay. I'm just chilling off the screen right now, trying to approve my GitHub account. So don't expect much right now, but feel free to hang out and chat. I need to get all right, San Francisco or my gateway. Let me get some proof. I wonder if I just use my old email address, that if it'll work. I need a school ID with a date on it. Mine doesn't even have a date. Dated, official, unofficial transcript. All right, let's go back. Cancel this. I know. I kind of just want to drop the $100 right now. Maybe that's easier. Drop the money bags. I might just drop the money bags. If it saves me enough time, then I think it's worth it. But I don't really need it. But it probably does save me enough time. To me, it's all about saving time. That's true. It does help me like remember things that I would otherwise just have to Google myself or something like that. So it does, and you could say it helps me learn faster. Can't even log into my school portal. I might need to reset my password or something. That's true. You might remember a little bit better if you Google it. Oh dang. I just saw your Discord post, X-Men. If you're still on the stream, that's pretty neat. X-Men just posted a picture of his little rendering program, rendering some 3D stuffs. So I think I can totally sign up for some classes right now. But for now, I think I'll look at it later. We'll go without Copilot for now. It's not a big deal. So, should we watch this hour-long video on HTMX? Or should I work on my project? Maybe I should work on my project. I gotta deactivate Copilot right now. Let's just disable it. HTMX, oh yeah, full circle. Back to HTML templates and PHP without the PHP. Times it. Okay, cool. All right, let's try to run this thing. Where's the back end? Do an npm run dev soy dev. Npm run soy dev. Whoops, what's going on here? We got some errors. Okay. The front end's going. Let's see. Why is that an error? Element has implicitly any type. This? Can't be used to index of type record. So how is this any though? Do I have to cast it? Personality output. I sometimes think we manufacture work just to keep people employed. We worked the entire internet as server-side rendering was not fast enough. Hit a snag and was like, let's rewrite it back. Yeah, I mean, like, I think what happened was that server-side rendering was basically fine for 99% of everything. And then like they released React for like a specific purpose for like crazy UIs that have like a bunch of client states jumping around. So like if you need a bunch of client state for some reason and it gets too wild, then use React. But then everyone adopted React for some reason. And then people are like, why am I using all this? Making things super complicated, using Redux on a for no reason. Okay, hold ups. What is happening here? What's the type of this? It's a type of record, and it takes in that, and it returns this. Okay. What's a record again? So this is supposed to be an array. Wait a second. Let me ask ChatGPT. As an array and not a single record. Oh, this is an object. The keys are of type and the values are of type that. So why is this complaining at me? Hold up. Well, the IDE thinks it's fine, but type any can't be used to index. Okay, is there something wrong with this definition? Looks good. One thing I will warn you about: scalability can be your worst enemy. Not just not having it, but the amount of small companies that want things made like they are Amazon. Dude, you never have more than 200 concurrent users. We don't need 20 bits of tech for caching layers. Direct DB calls are fine. That's true. I mean, like, it's kind of building a ginormous project, trying to apprehend the scalability. I think that's kind of like, especially since you don't know which part you need to scale until that thing gets overused. Which is why, unless you have something really obviously that needs to be scaled up when you get more users, then I'd say go for it. But a lot of the times you don't even know what you need to scale up. Then you find all your users are spending all their time on one section of your website, and you're like, okay, why did I scale everything else up when they're only using this tiny section? That's why it's probably more practical just to scale things up as they need to be scaled up. I don't know. Who knows? I think you probably should focus your energy on getting more users, I guess, in the beginning, instead of scaling things up. Because scaling things up is expensive. It's hard. Argument of type string is not assignable to parameter of type number. Oh, this is a different error. Look. What's this? This takes a number. This is a user ID. I'll just do a part int. Whoops. New errors. Okay, cool. As long as these are new errors, I'm happy. Yeah, I gotta deal with this. I'm not even using it. Or these. I had a client that wants a complete rewrite due to his thing is unscalable. I sat and done the numbers. If he achieves 100% market saturation, all of the 100% of the market visited a month between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. with peaks at 12 to 1 p.m., he would never hit over 500 concurrent users. And having so many users, your servers can't cope is a good problem to have in general. Nothing investor likes to hear more than we need your money to handle the demand we have now that we can't keep up with. That is true. That is also a good point. Like, a lot of these things are like perspective. Like, I never thought about engineering your problems to make them sound good to investors. That is good. That is big brain right there. But yeah, like, I don't know, man. Like, I still need to learn how to use Kubernetes and like load balancing and stuff. I like need to spend some. I should probably spend a good amount of time doing that in the upcoming future because I'm having a lot of issues at work because I just don't know how to manage my Kubernetes cluster that well, which is RIP because I don't know what the heck I'm doing. And if it breaks, I'm just like, God dang it. It just would benefit me a lot to finally learn Kubernetes. You expected 3 arguments, but got 2. Get or create persona. So it wants a number. It wants my Twitch ID. It wants a channel. Okay, let's give it the Twitch ID. Data? Where's this channel.data coming from? Oh, it's okay. So I gotta give it the Twitch ID then. Where do I get the Twitch ID in here? I get the Twitch ID from the database. Okay. Account dot Twitch ID. Here we go. What's wrong with this? Cannot find name personality. Let me import that. There we go. Now what? Didn't it restart? I don't know how I have such a big like code base for a website that really doesn't do that much. How did that happen? Oh my gosh. Okay. It doesn't even look good, sadly. Let's see. Saying unable to expected 3 arguments but got 2. Get or create persona. I thought I fixed it. Why is it like outdated? Okay, let me look at this one. Okay, the errors seem kind of weird. I think it's cached wrong. Because I fixed that. Maybe I didn't save it. Oh, it's not saving? Dude, what's going on here? Shoot. What happened to the autosave? I wish I could see the changes I made. I'm just gonna save them, I guess. Hope for the best. See what breaks. Let's go here. Cannot find module upsert online. Okay. Channel.data. Personas takes a Twitch ID. So I should be doing account.twitch ID. Facing a lot of errors here because I renamed some stuff and I changed the interface. And when I changed it, as soon as I changed the interface, it broke literally everything. Upsert online. Add missing function. I thought I had a function for this already. Let me see. Upsert online. Over here? Oh, I don't? In my model for my Twitch bot. Where is my Twitch bot model? The hell? Don't even have one? Thought I had one. Is it the persona? Get online personas. Okay. Basically, this is a chatbot backend, so that's what I'm trying to. That's what I'm working on. And I'm looking for an ORM function that I made. Maybe I didn't even make it. Cannot find name upsert online. Okay, what am I even trying to do here? Update preference to update database to remember preference. Okay. Let me look at my database. I really like this VS Code extension that lets me see my tables. But I guess I thought I had like a TwitchBot table somewhere. I got account, persona, stats, and Twitch profile. Maybe the persona is what it is. Yeah. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So really what I'm trying to do is insert into the persona table. Because the persona represents one chatbot instance. Well, I guess the chatbot can have multiple personas. So like you can have 2 different chatbots running at the same time with different personalities. So that's why I have it organized in this weird way. To be able to support that. I'm just doing this for fun. Probably should be working. Whatever's. So I need to write a function in the ORM. Get online personas, create persona, check if persona exists. I need to be able to query a record in here. So the Twitch ID and the personality. Let's see. Query database by Twitch ID and personality to set persona to online or offline. Hey C-Lam, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. I'm just chilling out, working on a little chatbot. Happy holidays. Trying to figure out what would be the right way to index a record in this table. Because every person can have multiple personas. So it's like a one-to-many relationship. And I could query by the personality. But if for some reason they wanted two chatbots with the same personality, then that wouldn't be supported if I did it that way. That wouldn't work if I queried it by that way. But I mean, like, do I really need to scale it up that much, like the real MKB is saying? Do I have to make things overly complicated to support something in the future that might not even be? That might not even be needed. Upser online. So, okay. First, check if the record exists with a given Twitch ID and personality. I think that's what I got. Leave channel. Gotta think about this. Yagni is a thing. What's Yagni? Yagni. Where's ChatGPT? What is Yagni? You ain't gonna need it. Okay. Fair enough. Upsert online. Okay, so I realized I kind of did this kind of badly, I guess. Because what I really need to do on the client side is send which personality we are turning off. So I somehow need to attach a personality on the client side of things. So I need to look at the RPC definition. This is a leave channel RPC. So I guess that's in the hold up, I gotta look at the protobufs. Protobus, where are they? Protos. Twitchbot. Leave channel. I could just convert this into like a leave all channels call to make it simple for now. And then like I will add in the ability to leave a specific channel in the future. Twitchbot Proto. Where is the leave channel RPC? What the hell? I don't see it. Oh, it's up here. Okay. So the quest doesn't give us any info. Okay, that's what I'm gonna do for now. I'm just going to make it so it leaves every single channel. The ability to leave a specific channel will be implemented by future me. Maybe. Possibly. So in this case, I'm just going to do set all personas for a given Twitch ID to offline. Okay, so let's do export async function leave set all personas offline, and it needs to take in a Twitch ID number. People always see the Facebook story and get worried. You know, small websites only takes over the world. Small websites only takes over the world and can't keep up at scale. Fun fact. They become one of the biggest tech company with that scaling issue. Also, if Facebook made everything with infinite scale to begin with, they probably would have never launched and blew through so much money they collapsed. Yeah, I mean, like, if you try to make everything with infinite scale, you're not going to get anything done ever. You're just going to be scaling up for your one user application. And then later on, the requirements change, and then all of a sudden, all your scaling is done for nothing. I don't want to make it sound like I'm lazy, but preparing too much is also a thing, I think. I think Netflix has the same story. They're like, we never expected to scale. We didn't program with the expectation that we were going to blow up so much as they did. Or, you know, you can just program things in Node.js and then just create more instances of your node process forever to scale up. Okay, don't do that. But isn't that like one of the selling points of Node.js? Is that to scale up, all you gotta do is just add more node instances. Oh man. Okay, where was I? Let's do. Oh wait, Prisma dot persona dot find many. Where Twitch ID is Twitch ID. So I'll just do personas equals this. Actually, this is supposed to be like an update thing, so maybe update many. What's this? Okay. Because I don't know how to use Prisma, we're gonna resort to drastic measures. Fix this, thanks. But basically trying to do multiple I got this table called personas, and I need to update all the records for a given Twitch ID with Prisma. And I have no idea how to do that. Update many. Okay, so I think I'm just missing some things here. Data. Status. This is supposed to be false. Oh wait, online. Online false. Name a tech that if you build things in a RESTful way, you can't do that. If your connection does not handle state and does things RESTfully, all techs have that. What becomes bottleneck is data and propagation resilience versus redundancy versus concurrency. Okay, I partially understand what you said there. I am having a little troubles. Okay. Data status. Let's see. Update many. Okay. Persona. Cool. Got it. Update all personas given Twitch ID to offline. Looks good. I wonder what's went wrong. Oh, this is wrong. Oh, it's not supposed to be a stream. Got it. Okay, cool. And I don't even think I need any of this stuff, but okay, cool. Set all personas offline. Simple enough. Set all personas offline. Count.twitch ID. Nice. Okay, cool. Let's see. What the heck did I change everywhere? Change a bunch of stuff. I'm just gonna go ahead and say that it's what it's supposed to be. And I'm gonna commit it. I'm gonna be like changed. Change Twitch bot table to persona table. No worries, no worries. Yeah, if you want to rephrase your point, that would be cool. Looks like my bot is going, which is nice. Let's see if we're in business. All right, our website's working again. I got the ugliest colors possible. But right now I'm just focusing on functionality. I could change it to light mode. Well, that didn't really do much. Is it because this? Oh, there we go. My reply was a tech that if you build things in a RESTful way, you can't do that. Oh, okay. That's true. There's something about Node being single-threaded that makes it easier to just boot up more instances or something. Or like, I guess it depends, like, because Node is single-threaded, that means like if you want to use more than one thread, you kind of literally have to spawn more node processes, I guess. Unless you're using workers. I don't know if anyone does that. But I think what you're saying is right. If you build it that way, then you should be able to just spawn more instances. Code writing at scale is not the issue. It's data and propagation. The resilience versus redundancy versus concurrency. Really, I mean, you want 100 instances of a Java, Rust, C#, etc. All of a few lines to do. Right. Because like, I think in some software designs, they handle threads within the code. They do concurrency within like the code itself. So I guess you got two options. You can do it in the code or you can just spawn more instances. I wonder what the. I'm trying to think about what the advantages of handling threads in the code are. I guess if you I think it depends on what you're building, I guess. Well, even within the code, you may still want multiple instances. Right. One box with 64 cores and 128 threads may not be enough. True. Yeah. So if you end up needing more than one computer, then you definitely need more than one instance. That's for sure. That makes sense. Huh. What do you mean by resilience versus redundancy? I gotta learn about this stuff real quick. Where's ChatGPT? Resilience refers to a system's ability to withstand and recover from failures or disruptions, ensuring that it continues to provide its intended functionality even when unexpected issues occur. It involves designing systems to be robust and capable of adapting to changing conditions. Key aspects of resilience include fault tolerance. The system can continue to operate even in the presence of hardware or software failures. Okay. Disaster recovery. The system can recover gracefully from major outages, such as natural disasters or data center failures. RIP. Redundancy. Some level of redundancy is often a component of resilience, but resilience encompasses a broader set of strategies and techniques. Okay. So, to me, fault tolerance is like having try-catch blocks to catch errors, and then also having like mutex locks on the codes, or like transactions. I think they're called transactions, where like if the code block doesn't finish running, it undoes everything. So that way you don't have like a halfway database, corrupted weird database state. And then redundancy is like having copies of the database. Geographical replication. Geographic. For resilience as well, one network cable unplug should not take you out. That's hilarious. Yeah, I'm not thinking about like the actual physical situations where we're working with actual cables. Geographical replication and failover is also a thing. One data center might drop off. That's true too. When things become regional, oh my gosh. Yeah, I mean, like, I think this is part of the reason why I need to learn Kubernetes at some point. Because isn't Kubernetes supposed to handle all these like load balancing situations in regions and stuff like that? Dang. Let's see if this chatbot works. Bam. That looks like it's on. We're connected to the Twitch IRC server. This is like my admin panel. This like turns on the connection to the Twitch IRC server. And then but if I want to actually get the chatbot in the channel, then I gotta go over to my actual Twitch account. And there's my little picture. And let me open up this console. Let me just move that stuff over here. Checking profile info. It's got my profile. Okay. My ID and everything. I built like my own authentication library thing for this. Chatbot. Here's the chatbot. Turn it on. Hello, the real ChatGPT. I think they're in uwoof form. Anything? Did we get an error? Maybe we got an error. No? I don't see an error. No errors to be seen. So, is that because I did it through OBS? Hold up. I don't think it matters. Wait a second. No response. Okay, let's see. Let me refresh this. It'll tell me if it says the bot is online. Let's leave and join again. Say something. Dang it, I hate when like it fails without any errors. When things silently fail, that's the worst. Okay. But, well, to debug this, I could. I made like a whole subscription thing in Node for what the bot does when it receives a message. Like a subscription style design, like in C#, where you can like register callbacks. So when I implemented that, it probably broke everything. It was probably like, it probably didn't even work. Okay. It's gonna be event handlers on message handler. Info, say something. Okay, I gotta make sure that the on message handler is actually handling stuff. So we go to Twitch bot, TMI bot, on message handler. Basically, it loops through a bunch of callbacks. We got a list of callbacks. How about I just do a logger dot info? I do something like calling callback callback I'll just give it the callback. Okay. Let's get some login going in. Let me see what went wrong. Okay. The bot's gotta rejoin. Now I gotta say something in chat. Hi. Info. Empty stuff. Well, that didn't really print anything. But it did print 3 lines of stuff, so at least this got called 3 times. And that's because I am registering some functions. I'm registering base message commands, legacy GPT commands, and handle personalities. Okay. So this is the function that should theoretically be the one responding to chat messages. I'll do another logger.info here and I'll be like, checking if we have a corresponding persona to let me think about this for a second. So it's looping through all the personas. Where is it getting the personas? Oh, wait a second. It should be snatching these from the database. But I think I'm just keeping it in memory at the moment. Const Twitch ID in personas. Personas is a static dictionary indexed by Twitch ID. Found matching persona for Twitch ID. Yeah, I didn't find any of that. So I need to sync the database with the client somewhere, but definitely not in here because this gets fired every time someone sends a message. So definitely one time at the beginning when the app starts. Persona.channel equals channel. Right. But what I want to kind of understand is what is in memory at this point in time. So in memory, I'm just gonna print out this entire ginormous object. And where was this again? Go down here. Call back. Okay. We get rid of that. Okay, cool. Have the bot come back in. And then okay. It looks like we do have one thing in memory. There's a channel name. Surprisingly, the memory is correctly updated. It is hydrated, perhaps, you might say. Surprisingly. So the issue really is in here. Logger.info. Let's do found a match for Twitch ID. If it doesn't get that far, I know there's an issue. So let's retry. Found a match for a Twitch ID. Oh my gosh, it did get that far. If persona.channel is equal to the channel. Channel. Simul shift. Yeah. Joined true. So there's something wrong with the channel I'm feeding it, I guess. In that case, can I just do something like this logger has a weird interface, but I think that's how I can print out the channel. Connected. Hello. Channel. Okay, that's why. There's a hashtag in front of the channel. That should have been handled, dealt with. Why does it had to add a hashtag in front of the channel? Nobody knows. Stupid TMI.js. Okay, let me remove it. I have to string parse that thing out of here. So channel comes in. You know what? Okay. Remove. Let's do a remove from channel. Let's do it up here. See, this is a nice thing. This is what Copilot would have helped me out with right here in this situation. It would have it would have written this code for me really easily. But okay, we can do this. Channel equals channel dot split, and we're gonna split it. How should we split it? Can we use a hashtag like that? And then we take like the second item. How does that work? I'll just ask. I could also just trim the thing in the front. Like slice off the first character. Let's ask what ChatGPT says to do. How do I remove the beginning hashtag in the string? For example, final shift. What the hell? This is JavaScript. This is JavaScript, not Python. Slice. Okay. Similar. Good enough. And then it's all lowercase, so I also need to make sure that this is to lowercase. There we go. That should fix it. Let me join. No. Oh, it worked. But say something else. There we go. Now we're back in business. And it's also generating the audio files. Oh, what the heck? Okay, hold up. Why is it printing all that stuff out? Well, I'm gonna wrap up the stream for now. I gotta get some food. Thank you guys for coming to the stream. Thank you. Good combos. The real MKB. Oh, peace is such a beautiful thing, isn't it? What the heck? How did it respond to your message when you didn't? That's funky. But that's kind of funny. Anyways, yeah. Peace out. Thanks for coming in. Cheers, my friends.